Hello, my name is Lee O'Reilly, and this is DUI 101. Today we're going to address the most common problem that any person who's been arrested for a DUI has, and that's, what do I do now? What's my immediate response to this situation? There are generally three areas that we're going to cover. The first one has to do with that all-important DMV hearing and protecting your DMV hearing rights. The second one is going to talk about preservation of evidence. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to find a lawyer or whether or not you even need a lawyer. The DMV hearing. Within 10 days of the date of your arrest, you have to file a DMV hearing request form. If you don't, your license will be suspended for 4 months, and there's nothing that anybody can do to get it back. So make sure that that DMV hearing is requested within 10 days. Now, a couple of points about contacting the DMV. You cannot contact any DMV office. You have to contact the DMV Driver Safety Office for your area. And they're not necessarily in the town in which you live in, okay? They're generally in the area that you live in. You can request a DMV hearing verbally by telephone, or you can put it in writing. Our advice is to put it in writing, and we have a form on our website that you can download and print out and send in. And I'm putting the website on right now so you can find that form. When you get to this page on the website, click on, in the middle of that page it says, click here for a 10-day DMV hearing request. You may want to subpoena the police officer, and it could cost you extra money to get him to come out to where you live. So anyway, fax that thing into the DMV. Now, if you don't have a fax machine, go to your local printer or your local Kinko's outlet, and they'll fax it for you. But make sure that you staple to the front of the form that you faxed the fax transmittal sheet. That proves that you sent it in within the 10 days. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. Now, if you choose to call the DMV, you can find the phone numbers at the bottom of our 10-day hearing request form. If you think you're guilty, if you think call them up, but make sure they give you a hearing date. Don't give up that right to a DMV hearing until you at least talk to a lawyer. If you're going to walk away from it, know why you're walking away from it, but don't just walk away from a right. You may be really sorry. Preservation of evidence. You want to preserve as much evidence as you can, and generally speaking, it falls into three general categories. The first one has to do with a record of your drinking. Did you pay with a credit card? Where are your receipts? Find them. Did you pay cash? Are there witnesses to your drinking? Will the bartender remember you? Does the bar that you drank at have point of sale records? Ask the bartender if they do. That may be a record of what your drinking was. If you drank with friends, talk to your friends quickly. Don't let too much time pass. And if they remember what you drank, then ask them to write it down or ask them to make a note of it or something so that they don't forget. Another area where we find a really important need to preserve evidence is in videos. Were you arrested near a security camera, near an ATM machine, anything where there is a possible video record of your arrest? And you also want to find out whether or not the police officer had what's called a MAV unit. That means motorized audio video. A MAV unit is a car which sits on the other side of their rear view mirror pointing forward through the front window of the car. Many police cars also have a second camera showing the back seat of the car for custody transport issues. Those videotapes are mother's milk to defense attorneys. We love them because they get acquittals time and time again. So is there any video evidence? If so, find out. If it's a security camera, contact the owner of the outfit that has a security camera. Some of these cameras are on a loop. They erase themselves after 72 or 125 hours. Find out whether or not that video still exists, and if it does, see if you can get it preserved. Do not make any repairs to your car. This is the third major area where people make mistakes. Get photographs of anything. I had a client who had a license plate and the top letters were alleged by the cop to have been blocked or covered by the frame. In fact, they weren't. What he was seeing was a shadow. And if I could prove that, I could get this client off the DUI. So what had happened was the moment she drove home, her father, to be safe for her, removed the frame and replaced it. Well, the very fact that he touched the frame destroyed the evidence. Fortunately for her, she had taken a photograph of the license plate before it was destroyed. Actually, a friend of hers did. And we were able to get her a dry reckless on that count. But her well-meaning father came very close to destroying her case. If you were stopped in an area where there was a burnt out light bulb such that you couldn't see adequately during your field sobriety test, you want to document it before someone goes out there and repairs the light bulb. How do you document it? Well, the easiest way is to get a private investigator to do it for you. If you need a private investigator, call any local attorney and he can point you in the direction of one. Let's talk about how to find a lawyer. A DUI defense is probably one of the more complex areas of criminal law that any attorney can practice. It requires a thorough understanding of the human body and how it metabolizes alcohol. It requires an understanding of engineering, particularly when it comes to breath machines and the calibration of simulator solutions for blood tests. And it requires an understanding of science. It requires a certain amount of understanding of mathematics and formulas, particularly that famous Widmark formula. And then you need to know all the law on top of that. So it's a very complex area. If I was going to hire a lawyer, I would look to two organizations. One is National College for DUI Defense. It's also called NCDD. And you can find them at ncdd.com. And if you click on Find a Lawyer, there's a long list of DUI specialists that they can point you to. The other area for local California residents is the California DUI Lawyers Association. These are the two organizations that any California lawyer is going to be a member of if they're serious about this area of the law. So that's where I'd go. Should I hire a private counsel or should I go with a public defender? Well, I guess the first question with a public defender is, are you eligible? If you have any kind of a job, you're probably not eligible. But don't throw away the right to a public defender unnecessarily. Some of the finest defense lawyers that I've met came out of public defenders' offices and did stellar jobs while they were there. The San Francisco Public Defender's Office is rather famous for the effectiveness of its counsel, and I've seen this myself. I saw one PD during a pretrial conference, and she was astonishingly good and very aggressive and never let up and was always pushing for her clients and winning a lot of victories. So public defenders are good, but there is one problem with a public defender, and that is that a public defender cannot handle a DMV hearing. They can only handle your criminal hearing. And that DMV hearing is very important in the prosecution or the defense of any criminal case, because the DMV hearing is the one time where you can question the police officer under oath and on the record without the district attorney being present. Every case that I've won in the last 2 years, I've won at least in part on the strength of DMV testimony from a police officer. Okay, that's basically it. How much should a lawyer cost? Well, lawyers basically run the gamut, but I would be very wary of any attorney who tried to represent you on a DUI for less than $1,500. That's absurdly low. And what they're going to do is plead you out. Talk around, talk to friends, go on the internet, look at consumer services such as Yelp.com or other organizations that will rate attorneys. The main thing I want you to do is to call the attorney and to talk to them. Are they giving you a free consultation that's real, or are they giving you a sales pitch? If they're giving you a sales pitch, hang up and go to the next lawyer and keep looking until you find one. Okay, if you have any questions concerning anything that we've talked about in this video, you can contact us at our website at dmvcouncil.com, or you can call us at 408-283-0574, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And thanks for watching.